By now you'll know fine well who your team's best player is on FIFA 19, although it's fairly obvious for some teams. So while the likes of Kevin De Bruyne have a huge rating of 91, just how good were they on the game 5 years ago? Today we're going to go back to FIFA 14 and see how good every Premier League club's best player was 5 years ago. Arsenal Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The Gabon striker is Arsenal's record signing and he's their best player on FIFA 19. The forward has a rating of 87 and his first 6 months at Arsenal showed exactly why he's one of the most talented forwards around. Aubameyang was the marquee name to replace Alexis Sanchez, but just how good was he 5 years ago? Well, on FIFA 14, Aubameyang had a rating of 80, back when he just arrived at Borussia Dortmund from St Etienne. So in 5 years he's gone up 7 ratings, which is fair considering the rate of goals he scored since moving to Germany and now England. Bournemouth Nathan Ake. Ake has a FIFA 19 rating of 79, which makes him Bournemouth's joint best player, joining goalkeeper Asmir Begovic also on a 79. But it's the Dutch defender who we've decided to take a look at, as his rise in the past 5 years is pretty impressive. Previously a Chelsea youngster, Ake was just 18 years old at the beginning of FIFA 14 and was yet to really get his career going, having made just a handful of appearances for the Blues, so much so his rating was a lowly 67. Brighton Matthew Ryan. 5 years ago Matthew Ryan was just 21 years old, which is no age for a goalkeeper. Despite his tender years, Ryan still had an OK FIFA rating for a player who had only just moved to Europe with Club Bruges. The Aussie stopper had a 70 rating, which shows that EA knew all about Ryan's talents 5 years ago. On FIFA 19, after a brilliant debut season in the Premier League with Brighton, Ryan now has a rating of 79. Burnley James Tarkowski. The defender earned an England call-up with his performances at the back for Burnley last season, but 5 years ago his FIFA rating was comically low when you think about how far he's come. Aged just 20, Tarkowski was still playing his football for Oldham Athletic in League 1 and therefore had a rating of just 59, which is the joint lowest you'll see on this video. Tarkowski's meteoric rise sort of came out of nowhere and he now has a rating of 80, which is 21 higher than it was on FIFA 14. Cardiff Harry Arter. Joint with Victor Camarasa as Cardiff City's best player on the new FIFA, the Bournemouth loanee has a rating of 76, which is pretty fair for a handy midfielder who has proven he can do a job in the top flight over the past few years with the Cherries. 5 years ago Arter was on the back of an impressive season in League 1, helping Bournemouth secure promotion to the second tier. The Republic of Ireland international was rated 64 on FIFA 14, having scored 8 League 1 goals the season before. Chelsea Eden Hazard. This season Eden Hazard is on fire and proving that he should be recognised as one of the best players in the world, dominating games, controlling things and ensuring that everything good about Chelsea goes through him. FIFA 14 was the second time Hazard appeared on the game as a Chelsea player, having enjoyed a strong first season in England. Even 5 years ago Hazard was a real talent on FIFA, boasting a rating of 85. Now on FIFA 19 he's one of the best players on the game, sitting pretty as a 91, which makes him almost impossible to stop in the video game world, and the real world for that matter. Crystal Palace Wilfried Zaha. No surprise here that Wilfried Zaha is Crystal Palace's best player with his rating of 82. Considering he single-handedly guided them to safety last season, the Palace talisman arguably deserves more than his 82 rating. But when Zaha looks back at his FIFA 14 card, the winger is probably grateful for where he is right now. On FIFA 14, Zaha was a Manchester United player, sitting under the learning tree of David Moyes despite being signed by Sir Alex Ferguson. In what was a rough time of his career, Zaha was out of favour at Old Trafford and only had a FIFA rating of 74. Everton Jordan Pickford. A strong debut season at Goodison Park, then a breakout World Cup performance has seen Jordan Pickford named as Everton's best player on FIFA 19, which is pretty surprising when you consider the talent the Toffees have at their disposal. The MC Machine gets a rating of 83 in between the sticks, which is massive when you look at his rating 5 years ago on FIFA 14. The goalkeeper has always been destined for great things, but when he was just 19 and on loan at Burton in League 2, Jordan Pickford had a 59 rating on FIFA 14, back when he's more interested in listening to rave music than playing out from the back. Fulham Jean-Michel Seri. When Fulham signed Jean-Michel Seri this summer, everyone took notice, as this was the deal that really kicked off the Cottagers' incredible summer of spending. The midfielder had been linked with some huge clubs, but it was Fulham who got his signature, and he immediately became their best player on FIFA 19 with his rating of 82. 5 years ago though, it was a very different story for Seri. The Ivory Coast international was just starting his career in Europe, having joined Pacos de Ferreira from a team in Ivory Coast, with a loan spell at Porto sandwiched in between. Such was SERI's lack of reputation in the game, he only had a rating of 65 on FIFA 14. Huddersfield Town, Aaron Mooy. Never mind his rating, Aaron Mooy actually had hair on FIFA 14. The midfielder was back playing in Australia after a spell with St Mirren and was awaiting the start of his second season at Western Sydney Wanderers, where he had a rating of just 65. 5 years on, and Aaron Mooy's career has had a sensational turnaround, now a key cog in a Premier League midfield, with a rating of 79 to make him Huddersfield Town's best player on FIFA 19. However, the hair is gone, so which is more important to the Australian, the hair or the FIFA rating? Leicester City, Kasper Schmeichel. Just like his dad, Kasper Schmeichel is quite a good goalkeeper, and he's been recognised as an 84 rated goalkeeper on FIFA 19, which makes him one of the best in the Premier League, just like his dad used to be. 5 years ago, Schmeichel wasn't a Premier League goalkeeper though, getting set to embark on his third consecutive season as Leicester's number 1 in the Championship. Despite being a Championship goalkeeper, Kasper still had a decent enough rating, getting a 74 on FIFA 14, which probably made him the best goalkeeper in the second tier at the time. Liverpool, Mo Salah. I mean, it's no surprise that Mo Salah is Liverpool's best player after the debut season he had at Anfield. The Egyptian King became a Liverpool hero last season, and his FIFA rating has been risen accordingly, now an 88 on the latest instalment of the game. It's been quite the rise for Salah, who wasn't really worth touching on FIFA 14. The winger had a rating as low as 74, still a Basel player where he wasn't the player he is today. While he certainly had potential, nobody thought he'd be as good as he has been, especially after that fateful spell at Stamford Bridge. Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne. Just like fellow Belgian Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne has a 91 rating on FIFA 19, but for very different reasons. Kevin De Bruyne is a master manipulator of the ball and a bit of an assist king, painting pictures on the pitch that nobody else could paint. While they're the same rating on FIFA 19, the same can't be said for 5 years ago on FIFA 14. The Man City midfielder was not a Man City midfielder at the time, still with Chelsea where he wasn't being afforded the opportunities he deserved. De Bruyne was only an 80, but that rating would obviously increase once he left and impressed in Germany before returning to England. Manchester United, David De Gea. Also a 91 rating, David De Gea is Manchester United's best player on FIFA 19. He's been the best stopper in England for a few years now, with his insane shot stopping ability winning the Red Devils so many points in recent seasons. On FIFA 14, De Gea was still a good goalkeeper, but was still waiting to achieve the potential that he's since gone on to achieve. After winning the Premier League and being named in the Team of the Year, David De Gea got a rating of 82, but even then it was clear where he was heading. Newcastle United, JAMAAL LASCELLES. At the age of 22, JAMAAL LASCELLES was named Newcastle captain. This is a player who was in the infancy of his Newcastle career, but he quickly developed into a leader in black and white, helping them achieve promotion and then keeping them in the Premier League last season. Lascelles' performance was recognised, getting a rating of 78 to make him Newcastle's best player alongside Jonjo Shelvey and Florian Lejeune. But for Lascelles, he was nowhere 5 years ago, back when he was still at Forest. On FIFA 14, the defender had a rating of 62, showing just how quickly he's risen to become a Premier League leader. Southampton, Yannick Vestergaard. From one centre-back to another, Yannick Vestergaard is the Saints' best player with a rating of 80, having arrived this summer from Werder Bremen, tasked with filling the giant void left by Virgil van Dijk. While that might be a high rating to some people, the Danish defender has always been highly rated on FIFA due to his size. This was clear to say on FIFA 14 when the 6'7" defender had a rating of 73 despite being just 21 years old and playing for Hoffenheim. Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane. I mean, of course Harry Kane is Tottenham's best player on FIFA 19. The man is England captain and the pride of the country. The goal machine has a rating of 89 on the video game, a rating that has increased every year since he started firing them in for Spurs. But 5 years ago on FIFA 14, things weren't quite as rosy for Kane. After failed loan spells at Norwich and Leicester the season before, Kane was back at Tottenham, waiting for a chance to prove himself. But because of his past, Kane only had a rating of 67. Of course, things would change for Kane in 2014, as he got himself on the goal trail at Tottenham, becoming their main striker the season after. Watford, Abdoulaye Doucouré. The French midfielder had a breakout season last time out for Watford, which saw his rating on FIFA 19 rise dramatically, getting an 81 with the potential to get as high as an 87, making him a midfielder that you desperately want to have in your team. On FIFA 14 though, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually never came across him. With his rating of just 61, 21-year-old Doucouré was at Rennes, yet to fully break into the first team. Now at Watford, he's pivotal to the Hornets setup. West Ham United, Marko Arnautovic. Now considered captain material when Mark Noble is left out, Arnautovic's performances have seen him get a FIFA 19 rating of 82 to make him their best player alongside Felipe Anderson. 5 years ago, his rating was only 6 less than it is this year, taking a 76 rating on FIFA 14, having just become a Premier League player with Stoke City. Arnautovic has always been talented, which is why he was still a 76 rating 5 years ago, but now he's much more consistent and those attitude problems appear to have gone. And finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers' Rui Patricio. The player with the smallest ratings change in 5 years, some are signing Rui Patricio as Wolves' best player on FIFA 19, despite them having the incredible duo of Ruben Neves and João Moutinho. The Portuguese stopper has a rating of 83 at the age of 30, as he enters the peak years of his career. On FIFA 14, Patricio was only 2 ratings less, boasting an 81. So was Patricio just that good 5 years ago, or has he failed to really kick on in the past 5 years? Let us know in the comments below. So that's every Premier League club's best player on FIFA 19 and their ratings on FIFA 14. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.